Hello, Mabton community. This is Dr. Joey Castilleja, the superintendent of the Mabton School District. I have a COVID update today for you. It is December 31st, 2020. Happy New Year. This is our first big update since December 2nd. Since that day, we've been doing some monitoring and planning, and there's some new information that's out, and we are here today to update you. So what is new since then? Probably the biggest thing that is new is the governor's new proclamation regarding school reopening. In some ways, the proclamation makes it easier for schools to reopen, as well as it gets more prescriptive on what's required of us. So that is good news. And also, due to the new guidance from the governor's office, this is probably the biggest news from this. We are postponing the start dates that were announced on December 2nd, and I will get into the new proposed dates here in a moment. So first of all, in a nutshell, the governor's reopening guidance is as what's seen on the screen right now. There are pages and pages of guidance and details, but this does a pretty good job of giving you an overview. Before this proclamation, the high risk category was considered anything over 75, and moderate was between 50 and 75, and low risk was 25. For the purposes of schools, high risk is now considered over 350 cases per 100,000 people in our county, looking back over a 2-week period. The moderate category is the range between 50 and 350 per 100,000, and the low category is under 50 cases. So that's got a little bit more relaxed, but what is a little bit more prescriptive is which age groups should be opening in those 3 levels. So in a nutshell, we should be meeting hybrid learning in person for transitional kinder through 5th grade at Arts Fox. And then when we get to the moderate level, that's the 350 case mark. That's when you start to prioritize middle level. So according to the state, that's grades 6, 7, and 8. Do note that our 6th graders are in the elementary school, but they're clumped together as a middle school grade band for these purposes. And then high school is to look at opening once you get to the 200 mark. Now, as of today, we're pushing 900. Our rates are pretty high at the moment because of the recent holidays. But right before the holidays, we were getting down. We were hovering around 100. Got down to as low as 75 at one point. So if we keep masking up, keep following the guidance, I'm confident that we're going to get those numbers back down. We just have to keep working together on that. So in a nutshell, that's what the guidance looks like. So with that, the school board does have a special meeting scheduled for January 6th. This isn't a regularly scheduled meeting. It'll be a short agenda, and it has a main purpose of considering the governor's new guidance. So with that, looking at all of our due diligence and everything going on around us, these are the dates that we're going to start with in that meeting. And so these are proposed. I'm not announcing these as definite happening yet, but this is what we do believe is feasible at this time. So transitional kindergartners, kindergarten and 1st grade would start on January 13th, 2021. For those that choose to be in the in-person model, and that is an in-person hybrid model. I will show you what that means in a future slide here. Then we go a couple days with those grades, and then we bring 2nd and 3rd grade in on January 18th. And then we wait a couple days there, and then we bring grades 4 and 5 in on January 21st. Then the 6th through 8th grade, I wish we could give you some dates there, but that one's going to be determined as we start to approach the moderate category. So 350 is really the target we're looking at there. And then the same thing for 9 through 12. We'll start to figure that out as we approach the moderate category. And at this time, it looks like the guidance is suggesting around 200 for 9th through 12th grade. So all of these guidance and what we're being told by the Department of Health and our governor's guidance, it does change over time. So as you guys all know, nothing has stayed the same very much through the last 9 or 10 months. So okay, so here's a few little points that you might be wondering as far as what does hybrid learning format look like. So really what that means is we will be operating in an AM PM model with smaller class sizes that's driven by the space and capacity. So in the guidance, we can have classrooms up to 15, but there's also other guidance that isn't in the overview that has some space constraints. So we're going to see pretty small class sizes in most cases, and you won't actually see 15 very often because of that. Those that are in remote assignments will stay in those remote assignments as planned. We still have families and students that have opted to remain in remote, and we do have staff assigned to serve those kids as well. Those remote assignments probably will be out there as long as the guidance stays as it is until we're at the 50 mark or lower. So it is important that we follow the guidance and the proclamations of our governor. That's what we've been doing all along. Working with our labor groups and our students and community, that's really what we need to do. So sometimes things don't always make sense, but just please know that we're taking the whole picture in. It's complicated. We're spending every waking hour of our work days trying to figure this out. So that's kind of how we've gotten to where we are. So some sources I want to point you to. I will put up the links here for the governor's recent proclamation. This is really good information if you're curious on what the latest is in regards to schools from the governor's seat. You can go to this link here, and the governor's new guidance that is referenced in that proclamation is in the link, the lower link here. So you can hit pause here and write these down and go visit these proclamations and guidance libraries here. And if you have any questions about those, please feel free to reach out. And last but not least, the board will meet for a special meeting on January 6th to review the governor's new guidance. Our meetings are held remotely as well. That's actually dictated by policy as well. So this is the Zoom link that will lead to that meeting. So again, you can pause the screen and write this down. This one's a little bit easier to remember. It's tinyurl.com/MaptonJan6, so you can remember. So overall, thank you all. I really appreciate your support through all this. It is tricky. Right now, probably the biggest thing that we're just really monitoring is the post-holiday cases and whatnot. Right now, like I said earlier, we're approaching 900 today. So keep masking up, keep socially distancing, and the one thing to do know that keeps me optimistic is the reason for the governor's new proclamation is that we have a few months at this now, and what the governor's team is finding is that data is showing that schools are effective and safe. So there isn't one magic key to complete safety, but it's kind of the combination of all of the things we do, masking, socially distancing, different procedures around lunches, buses, and all those things that we do as schools have some sort of implications around COVID. And by following the collection of all of those things, schools are safe. So there's been very, very few COVID cases that are presumed to have actually happened and caught at school. So, which is encouraging. So overall, that's where we are. Again, I want to say Happy New Year. Everyone have a safe New Year's Eve. And if you have any questions, please do reach out. But I'll just close with saying at this time, the dates that were previously announced on December 2nd are being postponed. The dates that were mentioned earlier in this presentation are being considered on January 6th. Hopefully we will have some new updates at that time. So please keep your ears open and your smiles on, and we will see you guys before long. Thank you.